In keeping with our ideas of maintaining our budget and not going over budget and being minimalists, my mom's birthday's coming up, and she is a big-time seamstress. She loves to sew. She makes all kinds of things.
Happy birthday, Alice.
I found these blanks that a friend of mine makes out of fabric. And my mom wears a charm bracelet, so we're gonna make her some beads like this. And I have these are made out of fabric, all pressed together. They're normally for pins, but I'm gonna cut off little sections of each one and I'm gonna turn them and make a bead. So let's see what we can do. I'm only gonna take off maybe a 1/4 inch, maybe 3/8. I'm not even gonna measure, I'm just gonna wing it and cut it.
When you're cutting fabric blanks, you should actually move pretty slow, otherwise they're gonna burn. Time to drill some holes.
This is a 6mm hole, and what it does, one, it helps it fit on the bracelet very well. Two, it helps me put it on my mandrel and it keeps it tight so that when I turn it and make it round, it doesn't spin as much.
Now it's time to get these on the lathe and get them round.
Make sure that's straight with your mandrel saver. I'm gonna cut these pretty fast, probably about 2800 RPM.
I'm actually moving pretty slow here. If you go too fast, it will just fray up the fabric and it won't look very nice. And you want to keep a nice even pressure, stay even, don't push hard, just take your time. It's no hurry. Right here, I'm rounding the edges. That way it gives it a little bit of shape and it just doesn't look like a flat disc. Here we are on the last one. We'll get this one cut down to size, give it some shape, and then we'll move on to our next step. Well, we need to do something about all those little strings hanging out. Alright, time to apply some CA glue and get rid of all those little strings. This will help shape it up. It'll give it a more solid surface to help us sand later. And I turned the lathe down to about 600 or 700 RPM. Apply a little bit of accelerator that helps it dry really fast instead of having to wait about 10 minutes. Alright, I've turned my lathe back up to about 1600 and I'm going to give it a light sanding. I just want to smooth it out a little bit before I go back to cutting. From here I'm going to use my round chisel again and I'm going to give it some more shape and definition. With this shorter mandrel, I can get closer to the bead. I can clean out the inside hole, and I can give it a lot better shape. Now it's time to start sanding. I'm going to start out with 120, Then I'm going to go to 180, 320, and last I'll hit it with a 500 foam pad. This 500 grit foam pad is really nice because it helps stay with the contour of the bead. Now I need to apply some mineral spirits. This helps keep it clean and it gets all the dust out before I put another layer of CA on it. Put some cardboard down, turn my lathe down to about 700 again, and then I'm going to put 2 thin coats of CA on here just to help seal it in. Now that this side's dry, I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to do the other side. I'm not going to cut this time, I'm just going to use a sandpaper, the same steps, 120 to 500. Need to clean it one more time with some mineral spirits. Got to keep it nice and clean. Keep all that dust out. Alright, now I'm going to use a medium CA glue and I'm going to give it 4 final coats. Now that's dry, and I'm going to use some Abranet. It's basically a sandpaper. It's about 400 grit, and I'm going to use it just to smooth out any rough edges from the CA glue. It's time to do some wet sanding, my favorite part. Makes it nice and shiny. Turn my lathe back up to about 1600, cover my lathe so I don't get water all over it and make it rust. Now this is called micro mesh, and it goes from about 400 grit to 12,000 grit. If you ever want to use these products, I'll provide links down below in our description. After all this wet sanding, I'm going to dry it off, and then I'm going to put a nice coat of polish over it. Also, the polish gives it this nice, beautiful pop that we want. That's one down. I have 3 more to go.
Okay, so we just spent about 3 hours. We made beads for my mom. Just to recap, her birthday's coming up, and we wanted to stick with our idea of having a strict budget for 2021 and trying to find ways to supplement our income to help pay for our debt and possibly save up for a down payment on a house. In order to do that, you can't spend money. Okay, time to do the numbers. Now, let's see, we had the Mycarta blanks. Those were 0 because I had those. We had my tools, I already have all those. That was $0. The glue and everything else I used to shine up those beads that I made for my mom, $0. I did buy my mom a card, so we had 1 birthday card, and that was $5. So we had 0, 0, 0, and $5. Total, $5. Pretty good for a budget for a birthday present for my mom. So that is all done. The next project is going to be for my dad because his birthday is this month as well. Stay tuned for that one. We also have another project coming up that we hope to sell. It'll be a 3-part video. It's pretty long. I just wanted to say thank you for joining us. Please hit that subscribe button. We get a lot of encouragement from all of you and all of the other YouTubers out there. They really help out a lot. It's great. So please join us on our journey. Hit subscribe, share, like, give us your comments. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you
See
so
you on
much.
the next video. That was Elizabeth behind the camera. Thank you.